We all know how powerful the Kansas City Chiefs are on offense. With stars like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, it's no surprise their offense gets so much attention. But let's not forget about their defense. Many people overlook it because of all the offensive talent, but the Chiefs' defense has been quietly making waves. Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs' defensive coordinator, has done an incredible job over the years improving this defense, and it shows every time they play. Their defense is young, energetic, and full of potential, which is something to celebrate. These young players aren't just promising, they're already really good at what they do. One player who stands out is Trent McDuffie. Despite his outstanding performances, he was completely snubbed from the Pro Bowl, which feels unfair. And it's not just him, Patrick Mahomes also missed out on being a Pro Bowler. Because of these snubs, the Chiefs will be entering the January playoffs with a point to prove. They'll be playing with determination and a little bit of anger, which should worry their opponents. A motivated and fired up Chiefs team is something no one wants to face, especially in the playoffs. I just don't get it. How is Trent McDuffie not in the Pro Bowl? Let's break this down. Last year, he was a first-team All-Pro, and this year he's been playing at an elite level again. Remember the Super Bowl? McDuffie completely shut down Deebo Samuel. This season, he's been just as impressive, if not better. Pro Football Focus, PFF, even ranked him as the second-best cornerback in the entire league. That's a huge deal. Compare that to Denzel Ward, who's ranked 41st on a struggling team and has only 2 interceptions. And yet, McDuffie wasn't chosen as one of the 4 AFC cornerbacks for the Pro Bowl. That's unbelievable. McDuffie is a lockdown corner. He's the guy who put Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, and even Tyreek Hill in his pocket. Game after game, he proves he's one of the best. Honestly, leaving him out of the Pro Bowl is an insult, not just to him, but to the level of talent he brings to the field. And it's not just McDuffie. Christian Gonzalez deserved a spot too. But here's the thing. The Chiefs don't play for Pro Bowls. They play for championships. McDuffie and the rest of this defense will use this as fuel to dominate in the playoffs. The truth is, the Chiefs don't really need the Pro Bowl. Even when their players are selected, they never get to play because they're always preparing for the Super Bowl. That's just how good they are. For 2025, 5 Chiefs made it to the Pro Bowl. Creed Humphrey, Chris Jones, Joe Thuney, Travis Kelce, and Trey Smith. That's great, but honestly, who cares? They won't be playing that weekend anyway because they'll probably be focused on another Super Bowl appearance. But let's talk about Trent McDuffie. He absolutely deserves more respect. The NFL seems to avoid giving him and even Patrick Mahomes the recognition they deserve. Why? Because they fear the Kansas City Chiefs. This team is stacked on both sides of the ball, and the league knows it. With Patrick Mahomes playing at an MVP level and a defense as strong as this, it's no wonder teams are intimidated. The NFL might try to downplay their dominance, but all they've done is motivate this team even more. Now, Trent McDuffie is heading into the playoffs angry, and an angry McDuffie is not something opponents want to face. The truth is, the Chiefs don't really need the Pro Bowl. Even when Chiefs players are selected, they rarely play because the team is usually busy preparing for the Super Bowl. That's just how dominant this franchise has become. For 2025, 5 Chiefs were named to the Pro Bowl: Creed Humphrey, Chris Jones, Joe Thuney, Travis Kelce, and Trey Smith. That's solid recognition, but honestly, who cares? They won't be playing that weekend anyway because, let's face it, they'll likely be gearing up for the Super Bowl. Still, players like Trent McDuffie deserve more respect. The fact he didn't make the Pro Bowl just shows how much the league fears this Chiefs team. It's understandable. When you have Patrick Mahomes leading the offense and a defense playing at such a high level, any team would feel intimidated. The NFL knows what's coming, and that's why snubs like these happen. It's an attempt to downplay the greatness of the Chiefs. And speaking of greatness, this defense is about to go into the playoffs angry, motivated, and ready to dominate. Trent McDuffie and the rest of the unit will be out to prove a point. They'll make life miserable for quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and CJ Stroud if they meet in the playoffs. Interceptions, turnovers, you name it, this defense will deliver. On top of that, the offense will match the defense's energy, just like they did in last year's playoffs. That's what makes this team so special. They feed off each other's intensity. This is why the Chiefs are on track for a three-peat. Sure, I talk about the three-peat a lot, but what else is there? We're watching history in the making here. Until the playoffs begin, all we can do is analyze how the Chiefs are preparing for yet another Super Bowl run. And trust me, when that first playoff game comes around, there'll be plenty to talk about. Let's be real. If the Chiefs somehow lose in the divisional round, you'd probably see me ranting and crying in an hour-long video. But guess what? That's not going to happen. This team is built to go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. The combination of this defense and offense is exactly what the NFL is worried about, and honestly, I can't blame them. This team is terrifying. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you see a roster that's as dominant as ever. I've said it before and I'll say it again. No team has been in a better position for a three-peat than this Chiefs squad. Think back to when we beat the Eagles. I told you then that the Chiefs would go back-to-back because their defense was improving, and guess what? That's exactly what happened. Even in the year we beat the 49ers, it was clear the team had room to grow. That was a down year, and we still won it all. I knew they'd focus on strengthening their wide receiver core after that, and boom, they did. This team doesn't just rest on its success, it keeps evolving. And now, with both the offense and defense firing on all cylinders, the Chiefs are scarier than ever. So, here's the deal. I've been saying for a while now that the Chiefs are going to three-peat, and I stand by it. Look, I'm not claiming to be a genius or the most accurate person ever, but if you've been following what I've said over the years, I've made some pretty solid calls. I predicted the Chiefs going back-to-back. I talked about Hollywood and Hopkins joining. Even if it took some time, it happened. I even called Kareem Hunt's impact. So, when I say the Chiefs are set to three-peat, you should get hyped. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's based on what we see: a dominant defense, an elite offense, and an angry Patrick Mahomes. You know how Mahomes gets when he's got something to prove. He's the kind of guy who'll show out and make a statement like, "This is why we don't care about Pro Bowls." And trust me, McDuffie and the rest of the team will be right there with him, playing with a chip on their shoulders. I love when the Chiefs have something to prove. It fuels them. Honestly, I'm hoping someone says something crazy like, "The Chiefs don't deserve to be in the playoffs." Let the doubters talk. It just makes the team hungrier. When the Chiefs are mad, they win. All right, that's it for now. Your boy Chiefs Priority is out. Peace.